Hey guys, it's Amélie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would film a reading wrap-up because I read quite a few books in the past month and all of them were just so good. Like, it was such a good reading month and I figured I would just share them with you guys. In the month of April, I read a grand total of 10 books, which is kind of crazy considering the fact that I was working full-time for most of the month. But hey, like I said, they were all such great books. I don't think I have a single book in the ones that I'm about to show you that I've given less than 3 stars on Goodreads. I'm not sure if this is going to turn into a monthly series. I guess it'll depend on how much I read every month. But if you guys would be interested in getting like monthly reading wrap-ups, let me know in the comments below, or just give this video a thumbs up to let me know that you enjoyed it. Without further ado, since we have many books to go through, let's just go ahead and get started. So the first book that I read this month is a book that is not actually out yet. To put you into context, a publisher was giving away advanced reader's copy to winners on Goodreads, and I was lucky enough to be one of them. I was so excited when I was notified that I won because that's a book that I've been waiting for a long time and that I would have bought anyway if I hadn't won the giveaway. And that book is Save the Date by Matson. In Save the Date, Charlie's siblings are coming home for her sister's wedding. It's their last weekend together before her parents sell the house. Obviously, Charlie wants to make this perfect because she just loves this house and her family. So what could go wrong, right? Well, a lot goes wrong. I'm not going to tell you what exactly goes wrong because I don't want to spoil you guys. But let me just say that everything goes wrong. But that's what made it such a fun read. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I'm so glad because Matson is the queen of summer contemporary, so my expectations were very, very high. But this book did not let me down at all. If anything, it was just better than what I could have expected, which is crazy. But it is amazing, and I would definitely recommend that you pick up a copy when the book gets out. I think what I love the most about this book is the fact that it does not revolve around romance. So obviously there's cute boys and like crushes involved because it's Matson we're talking about here, and it is a cute summer contemporary. But this book revolves more about like family and accepting changes and just growing up in general, and I think those are topics that I could really relate to, and that made this book so much more precious in a way. Another thing that I really enjoyed about this book is the characters. All the characters that are there, even like the secondary characters, are so well fleshed out, and I could imagine every single one of them. Like the Grand family in general is so endearing and charming, and I just really wish I could be part of such a family. But in this book, every character is important, and that's what I loved so much about it, and also the fact that they were all so well fleshed out and that I could imagine every single one of them, like physically, but also their personality. The second book that I read this month is A Court of Wings and Ruin. So I don't want to get too much into the plot of this one because it is the third book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars because it was just so good. I do understand how it can be problematic sometimes, but knowing Sarah J. Maas and just the series in general, I just kind of put that aside and read this solely for entertainment, because this is what this book is. This book was such a wild ride and a roller coaster of emotions in general. Honestly, Sarah J. Maas knows how to write powerful stories that will make you go through the entire spectrum of emotions. I laughed, I cried, I was angry. Let's talk about the plot a little bit because this book kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. Despite having a few lengths that could have been cut, this book was just so entertaining and I just couldn't put it down. Sarah J. Maas threw so many plot twists in this novel. I don't even know how she does it. I don't understand. I had to continue reading. I just couldn't put it down. I do have to admit that I would have liked to see the spring court trope last a little longer, but I did like what Sarah J. Maas did with the story. What I enjoyed so much about this, I think it's the political aspect to it. We're in the middle of the war in this book, and Sarah J. Maas did not put that aside. Romance was no longer the focus of the story, even though it was still there. Like, God knows, there was so many like sex scenes and like love scenes, whatever. Nonetheless, I feel like she balanced everything out perfectly. And can we talk about that ending? Like, oh my god, she killed me with that ending. It was everything that I could have possibly wanted and then more. If you're looking for a fantasy novel that also involves like romance and all of that, this book is perfect, and well, the series in general is perfect, and I cannot wait to read the upcoming novels. The third book that I read this month is 99 Days by Cotugno. Molly comes back to her hometown after having ran away a year ago when things went to complete shit, for lack of better words. Obviously, Molly is not welcomed back in her hometown. She has to stay home for 99 days before she can move to college. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I have to admit that I'm a bit conflicted with the book. On one hand, I did enjoy it. The writing is compelling. I could hardly put the book down. This book is filled with teenage drama, but normally, well, I would shy away from that because I'm just like, I'm 22 years old. I cannot handle teenage drama any longer. I think this one was really well done. There is a love triangle involved in this book, and while I usually hate love triangles, I think this one was done very tastefully. Sure, it creates a lot of drama between the two brothers because yes, it is between two brothers, no less. But I don't think Cotugno could have handled the situation any better. But one thing that I did not like at all about this book is the main character. Molly is just, I don't even have words to describe her. I don't think I've hated a main character as much as I've hated Molly in like such a long time. I don't even remember if I've ever read a book in which I hated the main character so much. God, I just... she made me so angry. At first when I started the book, I could relate to her. I understood what she had been through even though I have never been in the same situation. But the more it went on, the more I started despising her. Molly plays a victim a lot in this book, and honestly she has it coming. Like everything that happened to her, she made that happen. And she plays a victim like she had nothing to do with that. And I'm like, really, Molly? I had to put the book down a few times because of her stupidity. I just mean, I wanted to punch her in the face so many times. I had to talk to myself. I had to take deep breath because honestly, I just despised her so much, and I just don't understand how I could hate a character as much, but here we are. But it's weird because I still gave this book like 4 stars because it was still super enjoyable, but like I said, the main character is a pain in my ass, and I'm kind of glad that she went through what she did. What I love the most about this book is that Molly had to face the consequences of her actions. The first time she runs away after like having created trouble and drama and all of that, but this time she cannot run away anywhere. Like she has to stay home for like 99 days. So obviously she has to face whatever the hell she did before. So I thought that this was really like an interesting read, and also Cotugno is becoming one of my favorite authors. I've read only one other book of hers, and I loved it just as much as this one. I would highly recommend 99 Days, but do be aware that the main character can be a pain in the ass. The next book I read this month is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. This book is about a 17-year-old girl called Molly. Yes, once again, she's called Molly. So Molly knows a lot about unrequited love. She is a crusher. She crushes hard and she crushes often. She's had 26 crushes in her life. Yes, she's only 17 years old. But the thing is, Molly never tells her crush that she's crushing on them. So she lives through those crushes in secret. Well, except the part when she tells her twin sister Cassie everything. Molly can fathom the idea of rejection, which is why she never tells anyone what she feels. So when a cute girl enters Cassie's orbit, Molly feels left out. Luckily, Cassie's new girlfriend also comes with a cute hipster boy called Will. And if Molly can win him over, she can get her first kiss and she'll get her twin back. But there's only one problem. Molly's new coworker, Reed. He is an awkward Tolkien superfan, and there's no way that Molly could fall for him, right? So I really did enjoy this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Becky Albertalli is growing out to be one of my favorite authors of all time. I also loved Simon vs. the Homo sapiens agenda, which is one of my all-time favorite novels. What I love the most about this book is how much I could relate to the main character, Molly. I don't even remember the last time I related to a main character as much as I did with Molly in this novel. And while we're clearly different, like I'm not crafty or I don't crush ever, okay, maybe sometimes, but I don't crush as often as Molly does, it was scary how much I could see myself in her. She is so like me that honestly it freaks me out. But I do have to admit that besides from Reed and Molly, I didn't particularly care for any of the characters. I did enjoy the diversity of characters in this book. We have people of color, people from the LGBTQ community. I feel like Becky Albertalli didn't particularly flesh the characters out. I didn't feel like I was connecting to them. I didn't feel like they had a personality. So I don't know, I feel like there was something missing with the characters. I also feel like there wasn't much of a plot at all. I didn't mind it so much because honestly I just love the world that Becky Albertalli has created so much, but at the same time I could understand why people would feel like it's not a super interesting book, because I feel like there wasn't much going on at all. Like, it's just Molly trying to figure out who she likes. It's more of a character driven book than a story, like plot driven one. So if this is not your thing, I would stray away from this. I personally really enjoyed it. I also love the fact that it featured a lot of the characters from Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and I cannot wait to read more of Becky Albertalli's work. The fifth book that I read this month is Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick. This is a memoir written by Anna Kendrick herself. So I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, but I did feel like there was something missing. At first, I was not sure if I was going to enjoy it. It was really interesting to read Anna Kendrick's backstory because I thought I knew her. I watched a lot of the movies she's in, such as Pitch Perfect, Into the Woods, and all that stuff. But there's a lot about her that I didn't know, which was great because this book made me discover her. But I also feel like I was expecting more from it, and I didn't get exactly what I was expecting. Like, my expectations were just not met. I felt like it was missing the humor that I usually associate with Anna Kendrick. Overall, it's a nice memoir. It's not my favorite I've ever read, but if you like Anna Kendrick, I think you're definitely gonna enjoy this book. The sixth book that I read this month is A Whole New World by Liz Braswell. I read this book as part of my Disney readathon that I did on April 30th, and obviously this is an Aladdin retelling, which I was so excited about. In A Whole New World, Aladdin is still a street rat, Jasmine is still the princess of Agrabah, and she's still to be married to a man of her choice. But in A Whole New World, Aladdin never finds the lamp. Jafar does. So this book basically answers the question, what if Aladdin never found the lamp? Jafar finds the lamp, gets his wishes, and attempts to break the laws of magic, love, and death. Soon, Aladdin and Princess Jasmine has to unite the people of Agrabah to fight Jafar and regain control of their kingdom before it falls apart. I personally gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. It was a fun read. I won't say that it wasn't, but it wasn't completely what I was hoping for. As I mentioned before, I was so excited to finally read a Aladdin retelling. Aladdin is one of my favorite Disney movies. So while I did enjoy it, I also feel like it fell sort of flat. The characters felt like the Jasmine and Aladdin I knew at first, but the more the story went on, the less I feel like I was reading about characters that I grew up loving. On the outside and on the surface, they felt like Aladdin and Jasmine, the one that I knew, but it also didn't feel like them at all. Also felt like I was reading about completely different characters. Also, the plot felt really rushed, and I feel like there were many plot holes in this story. The concept and the idea were fantastic, but the execution wasn't so great. The last 4 books are actually part of a series, so I'm just gonna mention them all as one, and that is The Villain series by Serena Valentino. I read this book also as part of my Disney readathon on April 30th. The Villain series is basically the author's take on the backstory of different famous villains in the Disney universe. So we have Fairest of All. I won't get the books out of the box set because it would be such a hassle, but you can see them right here. So we have Fairest of All, which is a retelling of the Wicked Queen from Snow White. The Beast Within, a story of the prince or the beast in Beauty and the Beast, and Poor Unfortunate Soul, which is the story of Ursula in The Little Mermaid. And last but not least, we have Mistress of All Evil, which is a Maleficent story from Sleeping Beauty. Overall, I really enjoyed this series. It was so good, so unexpected. I thought I would not like this, but, well, I was expecting to sort of like it, but I had read like mixed reviews, so I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. But oh my god, you guys, I really enjoyed it. I gave all of these books 4 stars except for Poor Unfortunate Soul, which I gave actually this one, which I gave 3 stars. But overall, I just really enjoyed it. I think it's really well written, and it is a series, so it does seem like they would be standalones, but you have to read the series in order to understand everything that's going on. Fairest of all gave me serious Regina Mills vibes from Once Upon a Time. Honestly, the Evil Queen is probably one of my least favorite villains in the Disneyverse, but I really enjoyed the story. It was so well written and I just love the character. Like, we could really understand what she's been through, and I think the author did a terrific job at portraying the main character. The Beast Within was probably the one that I had the highest expectations for. Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney movie, so as you can imagine, I was pretty excited for this one. Personally, I really enjoyed it and I think it did its job pretty well. The one that I enjoyed less, like I mentioned before, is Poor Unfortunate Soul. I feel like we didn't get as much as Ursula as I wish we had gotten. I feel like she's such an underappreciated character in the Disneyverse, and she could have gotten a better story. We didn't get much of her in the story, which is weird because she's supposed to be the main character. And I feel like this one was more of a filler to like link the Beast Within to Mistress of All Evil. And there wasn't much to it on Ursula and Ariel and all of that, and I think we could have gotten more out of it, but I still enjoyed it, so I gave it a 3 stars. And my favorite in the series, I think, is Mistress of All Evil. It portrayed Maleficent, and it was such an amazing story, and I also really like the plot twist. There's like this one thing in the book that changes everything you think about Maleficent. I just loved it. I never saw it coming. So I know they're middle grade, and they're really short. They're like 200 pages each, but I'd really recommend the series. So that concludes this reading wrap up for the month of April. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, let me know if you'd like to see more of these, like if you want me to turn this into a monthly series. So let me know what you guys read in the comments below as well. I'm always looking for new book recommendations. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos. Don't forget to subscribe on Insta and Twitter. The handles are going to be right here. And I guess that's it, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.